Hallo, na, alles Paletti, alles im grünen Bereich, alles okay bei euch? Seid ihr fit? Seid ihr bereit? Wir werden wieder über das Thema Akkusativ und Dativ heute sprechen. Maybe you remember there is one basic video about the concept of Akkusativ and Dativ. If you don't know the video, maybe it's better to watch it before you watch this video, but it's not necessary. Akkusativ and Dativ. Yeah, you have heard about it, and in my former video I mentioned I was explaining to you the concept of the Akkusativ and Dativ, and I told you that there are three situations in which you have to think, oh, now I have to decide, do I have to use Akkusativ or Dativ. One of these three fields were the verbs. Every verb, or almost every verb, needs or an Akkusativ or a Dativ. And in my former video I have already mentioned that most of the verbs, they need Akkusativ. So for you, that I'm sorry to disappoint you now at this point, but for you that you have learned der, die, das, die Küche, das Bett, der Stuhl, and I have a bad news for you, because this der, die, das mainly you won't use. Yeah, because this is the first case, the basic case, the nominative. The most used is the Akkusativ. Yes. So now the question is, what is the Akkusativ of die? It does not change die. Yeah, I love this Akkusativ. Was ist der Akkusativ von das? Das does not change. Was ist der Akkusativ von der? Den. It does change. Yeah, for the ladies, the male article is strange, is not normal. No comment. Okay, so the Akkusativ of der is den. So for you, Akkusativ is always related to one letter, the N. This is important. If you see den, einen, diesen, meinen, then you know, oh, this is Akkusativ, and you immediately know this is a male word. So a little tip for you: when you read texts and you see diesen, meinen, and the noun which is following, you know automatically, oh, this is male, this is a der word. Okay, I told you that this Akkusativ is the most used one. Why? Because almost all the verbs need Akkusativ. So if you buy something, if you are searching for something, if you're finding something, if you're paying something, and so on, if you're writing something, and so on, you always need Akkusativ. In 2/3 of the cases, you don't have to change the article, die and das. The only one you have to change is der into den. Or you change ein into einen, oder dieser into diesen. So it's always the N ending. And we're gonna have a look on the einen. So when you hear somebody saying, ich möchte einen Kaffee, then you know immediately, oh, einen is Akkusativ, it changes because it's male, so it's der Kaffee. But if you hear, ich sehe ein Kind, ein does not change, so it's das. And if you say, ich sehe eine Frau, then you know it's die, because eine is die. Ein is das, and einen is for der Wörter, for male words. So we're gonna do an exercise. I will say simple sentences, and you have to know, is the word like ich möchte einen Kaffee, ist Kaffee der, die oder das? You know, einen, it must be der. Ein, das und eine, die. Okay. Ich höre ein Auto. So you have to check the article of Auto. And you know, in this case, ich sehe einen Mann. Ich sehe einen Hund. Ich möchte eine Katze. Ich brauche einen Tisch. Ich nehme ein Flugzeug. Ich nehme einen Tee. Ich brauche deinen Stift. Ich möchte ein Handy. You see, if you hear einen, deinen, meinen, then it must be there. If you hear ein, mein, dein, it must be das. Und eine, meine, deine, then it's die. Okay, so now you know, okay, you have, when do you have to know, when do you have to use Akkusativ? Almost every verb, like möchten, kaufen, suchen, needs Akkusativ. I have said almost. Which verbs do not need Akkusativ? That's simple. If you have a verb like heißen, my name is. Ich heiße Michele. You know, heißen is different from kaufen. You can buy something, but you cannot heißen. This is just ich heiße. Or if you use, for example, ich suche. You have to search something. This something is your victim. If you buy something, this something is your victim. If you need something, this something is your victim. So always when this something is your victim, then you need Akkusativ. The Akkusativ of du is dich. So ich say, ich sehe dich. Ich brauche dich. But now listen. Ich schicke, or is to send, ich schicke dir. Aha. So it's nicht dich, it's no Akkusativ, so it is Dativ. Because schicken obviously needs a Dativ. Why does it need Dativ? In my former video, I have already mentioned, I explained it to you, I will repeat it. Only the verbs, in 95% of the cases, which expresses deliver or communication between two persons, like erzählen, erklären, then you need Dativ. All the other cases, you need Akkusativ. So, if you have ich erzähle, which needs Dativ, then it's ich erzähle dir. Okay, let's have a look. The Akkusativ of ich is mich. So, if I say ich sehe mich, is I see myself. Ich sehe mich. I see the victim is myself in a mirror. Ich sehe mich. But I can also see you. Ich sehe dich. Or I can see him. Ich sehe ihn. You know, with the N. Yeah, I told you, the Akkusativ, the letter is N. But if you want to send me something, dann ist ich sende oder ich schicke dir. In one of my other videos about the Dativ, I told you that there are two letters for Dativ, R and M. So dir, if you see dir, the R, it must be Dativ. If you see ihn with the N, it must be Akkusativ. But if you see ihn with the M, that's Dativ. So let's have a look. Ich sehe dich is I see you, but I will write to you, ich schreibe dir. Ich sehe ihn, ich schreibe ihm. Ich sehe sie, I see her, it's the Akkusativ. Ich schreibe ihr. That's it. Let's have a look for typical accusative sentences in your daily life. No? Ich brauche, nichts Akkusativ. Ich brauche einen Stift. Ich brauche einen Moment. Hast du, do you have? Hast du ein Glas? Hast du einen Schlüssel? Hast du eine Uhr? Or you go in the shop. Ich möchte eine Hose. Ich möchte ein Hemd. Aber ich möchte einen Pullover. Yeah. You see, so when you hear ein, or when you read it, you know it must be das. If you see einen, it must be der, and if you see eine, it must be die. Then some of the verbs need dative, no accusative, these 5%. And in this case you say ich schreibe dir, ich erzähle dir, ich sage dir, ich schenke dir, oder ihm, to him, oder ihr. But with the accusative verbs, ich sehe dich, ich höre dich, ich besuche dich, ich treffe dich, ich hab dich lieb, I love you. Ja, oder ganz direkt, ich liebe dich. Ja, das war Akkusativ und Dativ. Don't be afraid. For you it's important. You remember the letter for accusative is N, the letters for dative is M and R, and most of the verbs need accusative. That's it. And only the male article changes. The female, die, and the das, neutral, it remains in accusative. Does not change. Yeah. If you want me to change something in my videos, just write me, and do not forget there is always a section you can download the topics of the videos, also regarding the topic Akkusativ and Dativ. Ciao!